Happy New Year and welcome to True Talk Café. We're back, everybody. This is where real conversations meet real solutions for work, life, and leadership. So I'm joined by the pod crew, Anna, Lollie, and Karla. Say hello, ladies.
Hey everyone, so glad you're here with us today.
Hello, everyone. We have a fantastic episode lined up today.
And grab your coffee or your favorite cocktail. Mine's tequila, but you never know what's in my cup.
So we are really excited to kick off our 5th season. Can you believe that?
Wow.
We're coming in hot with a new theme this year. So Anna, tell us about that.
Yes. So we hear you. We read all your comments, your messages, and your personal private messages and text messages and everything that comes to us. So 2026, we're kicking it off with a lot of new things that are coming straight from that. Lolly, you want to tell them a little bit more?
Yeah, when you think about our title, we always said we wanted to be authentic. We wanted to give you true talk and give you some real, honest to goodness, real life advice. So we're turning the tables and we're saying, hey, we got to put it out. We got to do what's right. Why it really matters. We got to help each other out. Karla.
Yes. So one of the things that we found out as we were interviewing different people, we had guest speakers, and even just us talking to each other, that there's a lot of stories out there. Even through the True Talk community, we heard from you all, and you have stories to tell, and we want to bring those stories to light and share it with everyone else. So, Renee.
Yeah, so what we wanted to do is to share with you our first two, or excuse me, we're going to share with you our first 4 episodes. We're going to give you a little snippet of what's to come so that you can get really excited with us. So the first topic that we're going to be talking about, it's called Why We Put Up With Too Much. And I'm sure we all can relate to that, right?
Right.
So what we're going to do is we're going to unpack this question that most of us avoid. And, why do we tolerate more than what we should at work, at home, and in life in general? It can range from toxic workplace behaviors or boundaries to people pleasing and fear-based decisions. This conversation gets really honest about the habits we normalize just to keep the peace. And I'm sure we have all done that. We're going to explore how comfort, guilt, and the need for approval quietly teach us to shrink and to hide, and how that shows up as burnout, resentment, and staying stuck longer than necessary. This episode is definitely going to challenge our listeners to identify where they've been over accommodating, under communicating, or ignoring their own needs, and what it really takes to stop. Not using ultimatums or drama, but with clarity, courage, and intentional choices. So if you've ever thought, why do I keep allowing this? This episode is your wake-up call. Now over to Karla.
The next thing that we want to kind of dwell a little bit more into is being a team player or being taken advantage of. I think all of us in some way, one way or another, or at some point in our life, we have gone through that challenge at work where we are people pleasers. We want to help. We want, especially if we are new in an organization, we want to help everyone with the task, the job at hand, the goals for the team. And this episode is going to focus on what are some of the strategies that you can implement in your career to make sure that not only are you showing up and showcasing your skills, but also making sure that you're not being taken advantage of and learning to say no. One of our episodes in the past, over the 4 years, did cover the power of saying no. And that is something that we often, I know I do, have difficulty with. Learning when to say no, how to say no in a way that is not stopping your progress within your organization. So we're looking forward to that conversation and learning from you and some of the things that you can do to help you overcome some of the obstacles that you've been experiencing. Anna, I'm sorry, Lolly.
Yeah. So, episode 3 is about a topic that typically I don't deal with at work. I never talk about politics. It's been a long-standing rule. Yet, guess what? We have to deal with office politics all the time. And when we make powerful moves, people look at us a little bit weird. They think we're not doing the right thing. They think we're, stepping out of bounds. So we really wanted to talk about these office politics. How do we navigate through them? How do we avoid them as much as we possibly can? And how can we make sure that we feel confident, comfortable, and walking in our own value when we make those power moves? But we got to make sure that we're making those moves and not allowing everybody else to dictate what our future should be. Anna.
Yeah, so that takes us to another topic, and just here in the last couple of days on our Facebook post, we've seen burnout as one of the requests, and of course we have to go through that one because we all experience it, right? And burnout isn't a badge of honor. Many of us are overworked, overused, and frankly abused, right? Reminds me of what's that Depeche Mode song, Strange Love? Some people want to use you, some people want to get used by you. But it's a lot of it is systemically, it's abused by systems that reward availability over impact. Some people, well, Anna's there, Lollie's there, let's just use them. Renee, you ain't got nothing on your plate, right? Help me out. Karla, come on, what are you doing, right? But here's the shift. It's time to turn the tables and take full agency over our trajectory. We're the only ones that can do that. And I know it's easier said than done. I think we've all been through it, right, ladies? But you don't get extra credit for running your life on empty. That's like bragging your phone never gets charged, but somehow expecting peak performance, right? Boundaries are power. It's power, and rest is a strategy. If you're not resting, you're not at your full potential. And choosing sustainability is how you stay in the game and win, right? So what are we going to do? How are we going to address that? And how are we going to overcome this? Not only are we going to be discussing these topics, but we're going to be providing you with strategies, proven strategies that either have worked for us, for others, or are documented strategies that work overall by psychologists and individuals who work with this type of work. So we're looking forward to it, guys.
Absolutely. We have a lot more coming at you this season, and we're really excited about it. We're going to be going live a few times. We're going to have some in-person podcast episodes going on. So we would love for you to join us when we're doing those type of events. Anybody else have anything that you want to add that we're going to be doing today or this year?
I think I'm just excited more than anything because I think this is a time for us to just have a place where we can meet with other people and have people that can have a place where they can comfortably share what the struggles that they're going through, things that maybe they think is just happening to them. So they can come and learn that it's not just happening to them, that this is something that maybe is common among women, among others, among new people, among new career starters, who knows? But we want to just keep the conversation very transparent and honest. And we want to provide you all with feedback that is going to be useful for you, things that you can quickly implement and hopefully help you get to the next level in your career.
Carla, very well said. I think that overall, it's making sure that we are being honest with ourselves. We can't fix something if we keep putting something aside and we don't want to talk about it because, it's just not proper or it's just not, am I comfortable saying this out loud? And quite honestly, when we really get deep down and we're sitting around the table with each other, it's very easy for us to find that we have common problems. And at least we laugh when we talk about them. And then we kind of strategize very quickly as to how we're going to do it. No, you can't do that. I'll tell you, we need to stay on top of things. So I think that's what we really are looking forward to here.
Yeah, and I'll add, when we were thinking about these topics and these conversations, honestly, guys at that table, what we said was, man, let's just talk about all the shit we deal with, you know, because that's what it is. It's a lot that goes into our day-to-day lives. And sometimes we don't have the time to pause. And it's understandable. But it's not that we don't have the time to pause. Maybe we're not being intentional about pausing, right? So there's going to be a lot of conversation, a lot of raw conversation. We all are coaches in our professions. We all work with individuals from all walks of life. And what we've seen is not very different. You can talk to the frontline employee and talk to the CEO of an organization. You can talk to the person working at computers and the doctor working on the surgery table. And we've all had those conversations. And in all honesty, I think we share a lot more of our struggles than not. So these conversations are just very important, and we keep seeing them and hearing them. And I think 2025 has been a very telling year for many of us who are in this coaching space. There's a lot happening out there. And I don't know if you follow any of us on LinkedIn, but if you don't, please do. But our personal stories that we share on LinkedIn are also very telling of the day-to-day activity and work that we do. So it's just real. We're putting that truth in the truth talk. And Renee has been dropping truth bombs every Tuesday. So if you haven't been listening to those on our Facebook group, please do, because all of this is relevant. We hear you, we see you, and we want you to know that we hear you and see you. So this season is going to be a little bit different. It's going to hit a whole lot of it bit different, because it's going to be very raw, very honest, and just telling you the things that we know you want to hear, but not always in the way that you want to hear them. We know we want to talk about this, but we can't sugarcoat things. We can't we can't deviate from what's real and truth, and stop putting those rose-colored lenses on everything. Like, it's okay, it's part of my job. It's okay, it's part of what women are supposed to do in the house. It's okay because men are supposed to carry that load by themselves. We're not doing that. We're going to talk about what we need to do to move beyond those. So I know I'm equally excited, Karla, like you said earlier. Like, this is going to be really, really good season. So we're excited. We hope you're excited, and we hope to hear a lot of your feedback on this.
Yes, and to kind of help you deal with some of the issues or challenges, we are going to introduce a challenge so that you can have something or a strategy or some sort of tips, and you can really get honest with yourself and hold yourself accountable to making changes in your life if you need to do that, on certain topics. So it's just another way for us to be able to engage with you and to get a little bit deeper and to be a little bit more raw with our discussions and our engagement with you. So we're really excited about that, and we'll have that coming your way. Does anybody have anything else to share before we close out?
I would just say, if you have things that you want to ask or that maybe you want feedback on, but you're not bold enough to maybe put it on a Facebook comment or even come to one of the live sessions, you can always email us or send it to us privately, and we'll be happy to raise your concern or your question to make sure that you get some guidance and you learn from the pod crew and our guest speakers about how to deal with that situation. So we're ready for you. Are you ready?
Absolutely. One
Renee,
last thing,
you want to
Renee,
tell them about?
oh, sorry. I was just going to add that I can tell you from experience that I grew exponentially when I decided to allow myself to be vulnerable. There is so much truth when you can come out and be authentic and be who you are and kind of test the waters with other people, because you suddenly find yourself with the ability to grow from that. So even if you're not quite comfortable with the full audience, reach out to us. Let's work through this together, because I promise you, what happens at the end of that effort is a growth that you didn't know was possible. Anna, sorry about that for jumping in. And
No worries. No, I was going to tell Renee, Renee and I were chit-chatting the other day, and I was like, you know what? We need to do something for the podcast listeners like we do for a lot of other people, is give them something they can download after each episode. So we're going to be
Very true.
providing you some guides that you can download, that you can use to put some of the words that you hear, not only from us, from the guest speakers, from, your mentors, from your coaches, that you can put into action immediately and take away. So we're going to be having some downloadable guides and tools and resources that you can take away with you. And we want to hear your successes. We want to celebrate your successes. We want to give you a shout out when we can, because you took something and ran with it and made something of it. So look forward to that as well. And let us know again, is there anything else that you want to bring to the table, that you want us to be talking about it? Because if it's happening and it's real, we want to know and we want to use it. And we want to encourage you to keep moving and doing things that help you evolve and grow out of that comfort zone, because it is a lot of a comfort zone that we're in.
Yeah, so this year is going to be action packed. We're excited, we're ready to go, and we're ready to serve you at the highest level. So we just want to extend a great thank you to all the people that have been with us from the start, all of our new listeners, and any future new listeners. Be sure to join us and like us on our social media platforms. You can find us under True Talk Café on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok. We've added TikTok. I don't know. We might dance. We might try it. But we just, we're really appreciative of everybody that has followed us so far and has engaged with us in our community. We do a lot of good things there. Our listeners share a lot there. And we've learned a lot about our listeners, and they've learned a lot about us. And we want to continue to deepen that relationship. So before we go, though, here's your reminder. Growth doesn't come from avoiding the hard stuff. It comes from facing it, naming it, and choosing to move anyway. So whatever you're dealing with at work, home, or in life, you're not alone, and you're not stuck. Clarity starts with one honest decision. If today's conversation hits, sit with it, then do something with it. We will leave you with this. We will have no fluff, no filters, just true talk. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.